Battleground has come and gone, and with it, the official beginning of the new era in WWE. Hey everyone, this is Neo Reality Entertainment. Battleground, like I said, has just passed, and I want to start off my video with the kickoff panel. Blah blah blah. Talk. Hype up. Lita might be Sasha Banks' partner, which would actually have been a cool surprise, but I was glad what we did get. I'll get to that in a moment. Let's get to the kickoff match. Breezango, Tyler Breeze and Fandango versus the Usos. And when I saw this, I was like, well, the Usos are going to win because it's the Usos. They're always going to win matches. Despite all logic saying that the Wyatt family should have gotten a tag team run, and, that's pretty much it. The Usos always win their matches, no matter how many times people don't want to see that, or at least wait till they get a different dimension to their characters, which I said they did during their time of Roman Reigns in the whole Bloodline versus the Club feud. And then it just died off afterwards, and then the Usos faded to irrelevancy. So imagine my surprise when Breezango actually beat the Usos clean. Pictured it yet? Okay. I was generally surprised. Monaro Ronaldo is pretty much the only thing that's keeping the kickoff interesting, since his commentary is so great. Apologize if I pronounced his first name wrong. The Usos, they just did what they usually do. Super kicks galore at this point. Three guys did the super kick. I think Fandango did one as well, so that means all four of them were doing super kick central. So I would have said the highlight of the match should have been a moment where all four of them connect a super kick to each other's jaws, and then all of them collapse in the middle of the ring. And I'd be like, this is how overexposed the super kick is nowadays. You give it to too many people. Might as well run with it and go over the top. But ultimately, it was an alright match, despite its no build-up whatsoever and it being a last-minute addition. Surprise, Breezango won. Certainly shows that Vince McMahon is behind Tyler Breeze and Fandango, and also is punishing Roman Reigns to an extent by punishing his cousins. I wouldn't be surprised if that was also the case, because Vince can be very vindictive. Now let's get to the opening match. Sasha Banks and her mystery partner versus Charlotte and Dana Brooke. Yeah, it was Bayley. Who was surprised? I had two names off the top of my head who would be coming back around this time, who would be debating or coming back. It would either been Nikki Bella, which I hate, which I would not have loved because she's the female John Cena, so she'll just leech off of this and try to get involved in a triple threat match with the women's title, since she still could make an argument by bitching to John Cena, who will bitch it to Vince, to, hey, can I be in a triple threat match with Sasha Banks and Charlotte and whatnot? But thank God it wasn't. But I would have been morbidly curious to know what's her new finisher, since Daniel Bryan's the one teaching her this. But that's beside the point. It was Bayley. And I wrote on Twitter saying the world needs a hug, because Bayley should definitely wear a shirt that says the world needs a few hugs or more. I mean, there's a lot more the world needs, but I do not want to go into any dark thoughts regarding the politics of the world right now. Sasha Banks and Bayley and Dana Brooke and Charlotte, they were given only 7 minutes and 25 seconds. I was surprised Natalya and Becky Lynch went on longer than that, by extra 2 minutes. I was expecting this one to be longer than that. Especially how the audience popped seeing Bayley. This is the first time in a couple that isn't an NXT arena that the audience was loud for a woman wrestler. You can make the argument Sasha Banks was, but for a debut, yeah. In the Attitude Era, it was always expect the unexpected, and now expect the expected, but that it's awesome still. That's my view of predictability. If it's good predictability, then I have no problems with it. If it's bad predictability, then we're gonna have a problem. Sasha Banks. I was expecting Team Sasha Banks and Bayley to win, since they're building up Sasha Banks, and WWE was reportedly hesitant to put Bayley in this because they thought if she debuts, they're going to want her to be in a match against Charlotte and Sasha Banks at the SummerSlam event for the women's title, and she's already facing Asuka. So, well, I can understand that. So this might be a one-off for a bit, then debut in the fall, and then do a feud with Sasha Banks while Charlotte focuses on Dana Brooke, since it's said that Dana Brooke and Charlotte are going to fight each other after SummerSlam. And ultimately, this match was enjoyable. Like, there was a couple of botches, though, so that really bunked it down a bit. Quite a bit. I can't wait what's going to happen. I was hoping Bayley would get the victory for the team, since it's Bayley. Everything she does is awesome. She's like a female John Cena, but more likable. And not, I'm going to use this to manipulate the audience to liking me more, in my own twisted viewpoint. So, and she actually gets aggressive. Whereas Cena, he gets aggressive at times and then just do jokes afterwards and doesn't care. And then proceeds to bury everybody. So Sasha Banks get the bank statement on Charlotte. Charlotte taps. I was surprised by that. I was expecting Dana Brooke to tap, since they probably didn't want Charlotte to tap out yet until SummerSlam. But what are you going to do? That was a little surprising. Now we get to the Wyatt family versus the New Day, and this match was relatively short. I thought they would be given at least 10 minutes. This was only 8 minutes and 47 seconds. The Wyatt family, well, it's just not the same without Luke Harper. I'm like, Braun Strowman, he's improving, but he should, wished Luke Harper was there. It would have made the match more interesting and more dynamic. The highlight of it was Bray Wyatt and Xavier Woods mostly, and I think Big E almost got a concussion when he did that spear through the ropes to Braun Strowman. It almost looked like he hit his head accidentally, and that probably would have given him a concussion. Hope not. But the New Day, but Xavier Woods of the New Day and Bray Wyatt of the Wyatt family, they have the most dynamic and fun. Like, Xavier Woods almost bowing before Bray Wyatt, and Bray Wyatt acting like the manipulator and cultist that he is. Almost on the level of certain cultists throughout history, but we will never talk about that for a variety of reasons, because I do not want to be considered the guy who says, oh, he's just like this guy in his history, because that'd be twisted and very sick. But Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family get their last hurrah together as the latest incarnation to end with a Sister Abigail. So I was glad they at least gave the Wyatt family to look strong for all three of them, which is surprising because for the last year they've been buried by virtually everything creative throws at them, except for the Roman Reigns feud. That was equal in my opinion. So, yeah. Now we get Rusev versus Zack Ryder. This was your standard match. Rusev is the dominant monster. Zack Ryder is the underdog, wearing the Macho Man gear. Like, he literally wore the Macho Man gear. Other people were pointing out that he also wore Surface Things USA gear, and I kind of saw that. So it was a tribute to. I was also thinking, what were their names? The Freebirds. I think the Freebirds wore something like that as well. The USA stuff on it. So he was tributing all the two guys, and the faction, the Freebirds, the Sting, and Macho Man Randy Savage, who will rest in peace. But Zack Ryder was overwhelmed by Rusev. Zack Ryder got a couple of good shots in, but ultimately Rusev came out victorious. And Lana, the highlight to everybody saying it was Lana because she was wearing this dress that made her look like a princess. And I was like, why is she wearing that? Like, if this was WrestleMania or SummerSlam, I could get that, but why is she wearing it at a C-level pay-per-view? I mean, like, I get it, they're trying to make this pay-per-view important, and they really did with the Shield Triple Threat match, but I'll get to that later. But I'm not going to complain much about that. Rusev dominates, and then we get Mojo Rawley making the save. Yay. I have no reason to care about Mojo Rawley. I was like, okay, he could be a fun, entertaining mid-card guy. He can be, provided he doesn't do this constant hype attitude. And then he gets in the face of Rusev, and that made it very weird because, wait, but they're going on separate brands. So how are they going to do this feud? Is Rusev going to show up on SmackDown and have the titles appear on both brands? Like they never said that. I'm like, I get the world title most likely will be doing that, since it's been said that the world title will be on both brands until after SummerSlam, and then they're going to introduce the world heavyweight title, which I can't wait. So what's going to happen? So were they teasing a feud between Mojo Rawley and Rusev, or were they just fooling us into thinking that was actually going to happen, and then gave us a sigh of relief and saying, no, it's not going to happen? But ultimately, Mojo Rawley makes the save after Zack Ryder taps out to the Accolade. He almost got in a moment to get out of it, but he's not strong enough to overpower the great Bulgarian Brute, who's now renewing his push since Extreme Rules, which I'm glad for. But now moving onwards, Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens, which I consider the second best match of the night. They made this personal. It was personal. This was built up. This was... Sorry, getting tongue-tied. This was hyped up to be a big bout, and if this is to be their final chapter for now, I will be okay with that. But since they're on the same brand, something tells me it's not. And also, they're hinting Cesaro might get in... I was thinking Cesaro would get involved in this match, since Cesaro hinted his frustration on commentary during the kickoff panel, which I thought was interesting. The other highlight of the kickoff panel that doesn't involve Minoru Ronaldo doing all the work regarding commentary. And I need to go back to kickoff panel. Brian Saxton, they screwed up his nameplate by saying Brian Sexton. And I'm thinking, oh dear God, the internet's going to have its day with him. Like, Michael Cole bullies him. JBL I can get because he's a heel, but Michael Cole bullies him. Everyone bullies him, and now I just can't help but feel sorry for this guy, because in NXT he did well. Main roster, he's just being forced to not be himself, because fuck originality. I'm waiting for him to slap Michael Cole in the face and then cut a Joey Styles shoot promo. So that happened. And Sami Zayn showed an aggressive side. Like Kevin Owens and him, they always show aggressiveness towards each other in their war. But Sami Zayn really took this cake when he went ahead and showed a more darker side to him when he did the haluva kick twice. And there was an amazing sequence when he does this flip maneuver and Kevin Owens gets back up and tries to clothesline him, and then he does the flip again, and this time it works. I can't pronounce the move's name right. I think I'll get it wrong, so I'm not even going to try. And plus, I probably don't remember what the name of the move was, so why try on that in the middle of the video? But this match was entertaining. It was the second best match of the night, next to the main event, obviously. But Sami Zayn showed this aggressive side at the end when he did the haluva kick twice, like I said, and got the pin. And JBL asked to be right on this because Sami Zayn didn't look like he wanted insurance. He more like wanted to do this because he's starting to cross that line of the dark side. But that besides the point, that was good. But I'm kind of concerned. I'm concerned, does this feud get overexposed again because they're on the same brand now, and that means their feud might not be over? Like, it might take a break, but there's a chance to overexpose it and then ruin such a great feud like they did with Randy Orton and John Cena, though that was mostly because they repeated the same formula over and over again. Randy Orton attacks Dad. Randy Orton attacks Dad. When he did it the first time, that was awesome. But when he did it the second time, it was like, okay. But when he did it the third time, it was like, really? And then he did it the fourth time, and I'm like, stop. Then the fifth time, and the sixth time, and the seventh time, and you just want to stop. Just stop doing this. God. Afterwards, the crowd was quieted down due to that match, so we had Natalya and Becky Lynch as a sleeper match, pretty much at this point. Like I said, with Sasha Banks and Bayley's match against Dana Brooke and Charlotte, that this match was longer than the tag team match. I was surprised by that, by only about 2 minutes. So, and Natalya and Becky Lynch, I was expecting Becky Lynch to, like, remove her robes, and she had this dark look on her face. Remove her robes, get in the ring, and they start beating the living shit out of each other, like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn does every time they cross paths. But I didn't get that. I was expecting that, and really, I don't get why they didn't go with that. I was really hoping for that, considering all the build-up has been showing them trying to kill each other, and not really that much promo time, but that's beside the point. They've been trying to kill each other, and the commentary is trying to build this up like it was important, but like, why didn't you do this as a promo weeks prior, and then do the try to kill each other maneuvers? No? Okay, we'll just buy what you said for at least a good 3 seconds. So, Natalya and Becky Lynch. Natalya surprisingly got the victory with a submission. I'm not angered by that, but I am curious of, is Natalya going to get a future women's title push? Because she's been long deserving of that. Like, I think she had one time, but then afterwards they just gave it back to someone else during the Divas run, and they're going to give her another push. But I'm not 100% certain yet. But I'm hoping Natalya gets a better push now. But Becky Lynch, I don't want her to be left on the side, because Becky Lynch is so great and she has so much to offer, just like Natalya, and I don't want her to be off the side. Like I'd rather see potential in a lot of people, even the least talented ones, as people would say. Like Eva Marie, like, okay, she's not the greatest wrestler. She's not even a good wrestler, in my opinion. But she can bring the heat to the ring. She can bring heat. So why not just have her for a manager while she's training to be a wrestler more? Have her be a manager to keep her on TV, to piss off the audience with her client, and let her train in the ring off to the side. And it's a win-win. The fans don't have to see her wrestle, but yet the WWE gets big money out of seeing her get hated by the audience to make sure she gets her just desserts. And, well, there you have it. But WWE clearly knows better than me, right? I'm just a fan with ideas and visions and concepts, and could probably do more than the creative team, provided I don't have to deal with the egos and the backstage politics. But that's besides the point. Now we get to The Miz with Maurice versus Darren Young with Bob Backlund. What the hell happened? Like, this match was starting out good a little bit. Like, but then when Maurice slapped Bob Backlund, he just lost it. Like, I get that's his character, but like, what the heck happened? Like, what is he gonna do? Is he? Oh, wait, I get it. Is he gonna try to attack Maurice, and Miz is gonna make the save and get the disqualification win? No. Darren Young is gonna come out to do that crossface chicken thing, or the gobble crossface. I don't know. And they end in a double disqualification. Wait, what? There was not even a double count out. The referee didn't count to 10. The count would have restarted after Darren Young got out. So what happened? It was just so confusing. Like, Darren Young showed this aggressive side. I was glad about that, but like, I was just confused. Like, what just happened? Like, this had some potential, but like, they squandered it with this confusion. I don't really get it. So, ultimately, this was honestly the worst match of the night because it just ended so confusingly. So now we get the John Cena and his bitches, aka Enzo Amore and Big Colin Cassidy. Oh wait, he's just Big Cass because fuck big names. Versus the Club. It was an alright match. It wasn't the greatest 6-man tag team match. That reserves go to the Wyatt Family Shield Round 1 fight, which I'll talk about in a future video. This was further promo. Enzo Amore delivers as always. Big Cass delivers as always. John Cena's out to the side. Thank God he doesn't do anything, so he doesn't have to do his corny hustle, loyalty, and respect joke, blah, 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 or point out a sick kid in the audience and use it for cheap pop. Okay, whatever. Then the Club come out. They don't do a promo. I was expecting that to happen. I think it's because Enzo Amore and Big Cass took too long, so that could be it. But the Club and John Cena and his little alliance, or Team Cena at this point, because WWE will just call it Team Cena. They go ahead and just fight out, and then it becomes chaotic at like near the end. And the most surprising part was AJ Styles took the pin. I hate to be the bearer of reporting things, but oh, who am I kidding? I just like to report things and then talk about them and give my thoughts. But there was a report weeks prior that the reason they did the six-man tag team match was for Styles not to take a pinfall. They wanted him to not take a pinfall. They wanted to give it to either Carl Anderson or Luke Gallows. So what the fuck happened that went ahead and said, make Styles eat the pin? Did John Cena whine? Like saying, no, hey, you cannot allow such things. So, like, did John Cena whine to Vince because that would be like, oh, he's going to beat me clean at SummerSlam. I can't let that happen. Let me just beat him once. Make it look like I'm the best in the world so I can at least say I have a victory over him. Please, Daddy Vince. And Vince relented because, well, God knows he has dignity at this point. Like, he's gone crazy with age. So, yeah, it was a good tag team match. I will still say that the ending was questionable because John Cena pins AJ Styles and then does this child in the audience ending where he goes in and gives the child a hug or something like they did with the Bray Wyatt thing, and I just raised my middle finger at how, oh, are we really doing this again? His legacy, nothing was on the line. His legacy was not on the line. His dignity was not on the line. He lost that years ago, and whatnot. So, what was on the line that made this say, oh, a kid needs a hug. Let's do something corny and emotional. Nothing? Do it anyway! Okay, now we get to the highlight reel. It is what it is. Randy Orton is proud to be back. I was expecting that, especially him being all smiles and whatnot, and then become cold and calculating seconds later. Chris Jericho really killing it as a heel right now with the whole drink it in, man. And I'm just laughing at that. At least he's not doing the temper tantrums because that, like I said months prior, that was a little awkward for me because it was like a 40-year-old, an over 40-year-old guy is trying to act like he's in his 20s again. At least now he's acting arrogant heel like you would expect from a John Cena clone, thinking that, well, you're facing me, they put you on a higher pedestal. So I was glad for that. And then the highlight of the highlight reel, no pun intended, was Randy Orton says he would take Brock Lesnar to Viperville with an RKO with no enhancement needed. And I was like, okay, Orton, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but weren't you suspended twice for violating the wellness policy? I would say right now that I would expect Paul Heyman to make a retort on the next night on Raw, but Paul Heyman's contract reportedly expired, and WWE is trying to negotiate with him, but Paul Heyman has these other projects, and he wants a downside guarantee because he's only been paid every time when he shows up, and he has not been given a full-time role yet. He's just given a part-time role, so yeah, I don't expect Paul Heyman to show up during this build, so that legendary RKO to Paul Heyman and then Brock Lesnar probably. So I wonder how Brock Lesnar's going to do his promos because it's just him, and Brock Lesnar's not really the best on the mic, but like, I think he's a little underrated at times, but on the mic, he's not the. There's a reason why Paul Heyman is his voice. It's just weird to see Brock Lesnar talk. Full sentences. Like, if he speaks only a few times, then that would work because he's a beast. But when he talks, it's just weird for me. So I get why they had Paul Heyman this whole time, and especially it failed when John Laurinaitis was supposed to be his manager. So, yeah. And then our RKO to Chris Jericho later, and the highlight reel ends. Now we get to the dream match. The dream match of all dream matches. Well, that's not really true. The Undertaker and Sting is the dream match of all dream matches, but that's a completely different video that I've talked about already. So this is the current dream match of all dream matches right now, besides NWO and DX. Though that was fulfilled at WrestleMania 31 in a background fight, but Okay, I'm just gonna say this was the dream match of modern dream matches. Oh, okay, that's better. Dean Ambrose versus Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins, all former members of the Shield together, and they killed it. Now, I haven't watched the Chris Benoit versus Shawn Michaels versus Triple H match in years, but I do know that it was considered one of the best triple threat matches, and I was really hoping that this match would do it. I don't know for certain if it did, but there were a lot of great moments in here, a lot of great sequences. And Roman Reigns, he acted more like an aggressor in this match. I was expecting him to turn heel in this match fully, but he hasn't yet. I think we're expecting that on Monday or in the weeks to come to SummerSlam, since word going around is they want to do Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns again, with Seth Rollins being the face and Roman Reigns just being, well, whatever, since they haven't decided yet. But they also hinted the redemption storyline because they keep addressing Roman Reigns' psyche and mental state since he's been suspended for 30 days. And I really hope that's not the case. They just want to bring that up because it makes sense, but I'm really hoping that's not the case with the whole redemption program, because that really fucking doesn't make any sense. But this match was great. Match of the year quality for me. I was really looking forward to this match. I've been waiting for this match for 3 to 4 years. I really thought like it lived up to the hype. It's going to be debatable regarding which one was the best triple threat match of all time, and I really can't wait for another triple threat match between these two in the later future. I hope so. I hope this isn't a one-time only thing like they did with Shawn Michaels, Chris Benoit, and Triple H. Like they did it again at Backlash the month after that pay-per-view, but like they never revisited it again. It was just a one-time, two-time thing. So, yeah. And I really think this should also be saved again for WrestleMania this time around, provided none of them get hurt. Roman Reigns acted like the aggressor, like I said, Seth Rollins. And they also did a lot of teases of the old Shield time, like Seth Rollins putting his fist out saying, "Let's do this with honor," in a mocking way. Then they team up against Roman Reigns and powerbomb him through the table like old times, except it wasn't Roman Reigns, it was against another guy, but that's a completely different story. They did that payback already, so against Randy Orton, so yeah. And then Seth Rollins hits Dean Ambrose in the back of a steel chair, highlighting the whole Seth Rollins betrays the Shield thing. So they did a lot of highlight moments on there. This match was great, and I was once again not surprised entirely. I was a little surprised, but at the same time not, because I know Vince is vindictive as hell. That Roman Reigns takes the loss, takes the pin. He took the clean pin, so he's been pinned cleanly twice. And I get the feeling this is not the end of that. So I can't wait what's going to happen with Roman Reigns, and I was expecting Roman Reigns afterwards to Superman punch Dean Ambrose, and then Superman punch Shane McMahon. I would say Daniel Bryan, but with concussion concerns, I get why they wouldn't do that, to cement his heel turn. But I get the feeling they're going to save the turn to the dark side, hopefully at SummerSlam, with a double turn that they wanted to do at Money in the Bank, rumoredly, until Roman Reigns had to get suspended. So I don't know what's going to happen after Battleground. The WWE title is right now staying on SmackDown for a bit. I don't know what's going to happen at SummerSlam regarding it. We'll know in the weeks to come. They'll introduce a world title, but it's currently unknown if it's going to be on Raw or SmackDown. And they plan to create more titles to balance it all out. And, like, okay. Well, everyone, this was Neo Reality Entertainment. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and donate. Stay tuned for more.